All right, so what is the best home loan program that you should go for in 2021? So the best home loan program video of 2020 was one of my signature videos. It was very exciting, really trended and hit 20 or 30,000 views. So now, of course, we got to follow it up and do the same thing for 2021, but holy, things have changed and the market is completely different. So, for those of you who saw my video for the best home loan programs for first-time home buyers in 2020, it's going to be a lot different, guys. So, because in 2020, I broke down all of these great programs like no money down, 0% programs, 3% down with the Fannie Mae Home Ready program, FHA loans, really low down payment programs that, would help a first-time home buyer get into their first house. Hate to break it to you, but that is not going to happen this year, unfortunately, for several reasons. One of the reasons that's not going to happen is those programs are just not available anymore. Okay, that's a very, risky loan program to be offering. And then with the coronavirus and the pandemic and people being unemployed and things like that, people are not crazy to lend money to people at 100% financing. So number one, those programs may not be available anymore. Number two, even if you do find a low down payment program, like a 0% down, some kind of grant, for your community or your county, I talked about some LA County home loan grant programs that were available. Even if you do find something that's available, good luck getting your offer accepted in a very competitive market when you're putting almost no down payment. As you guys know, the housing market's on fire. Most houses are getting 5, 10, 15 offers. And if you come in and you're competing with 10 other people, some of whom are putting 20% down, and you're coming in with a no down payment loan, it's just not going to happen. It sucks to bring this news to you. It's not the best news, but I have to be realistic and I have to be honest with you guys because I don't want to mislead you and get your hopes up. In this market, I've had clients putting 10% down and have a really hard time. I mean, we were successful. We got most of them into homes. We got actually all of them into homes, but it was very, very hard. And they were putting 10% down. Okay, so if you're putting nothing down, it's going to be very, very hard. So the number one program that I would actually recommend is a 10% down conventional loan. Okay, 10% down is enough where you're still getting a really good rate and you're going to be competitive against people who are putting maybe 20 or 25% down. Okay, so the 10% down conventional loan is the way to go. 10% I would say is the minimum. If you have 5% down, I'll still talk to you. We'll still, see what we could do. It's going to be tougher, but 10% down conventional loan is, I think, the ideal way if you're a first-time homeowner. I think it's the sweet spot where you're not doing FHA, you're not doing 5, but you're also not doing 20. It's enough to be competitive. Plus, the banks that I work with, you're still getting a rate in the 2.5 to 3% range, and you're getting record low mortgage insurance rates. Mortgage insurance in the past would be about 0.75%, 0.5% of your loan amount divided by 12 to get a monthly figure. Right now, they're 0.25, 0.22, 0.18 if you have really, really good credit. So your monthly mortgage insurance is like $75, $100, $120 a month. So for you to be able to get into a property, put 10% down and have a record low mortgage insurance, it's a no-brainer. So that's the number one program that I would recommend for a first-time home buyer. The second program that I would recommend to a first-time home buyer is if you're self-employed and you don't have the 2 years of reported taxes, bank statement loans are back. So if you're a business owner and you have a lot of deposits, but you don't show a lot of income on your tax returns, or you don't have 2 years of tax returns to prove your income, bank statement loans are a great alternative to get you in a house and get a loan. I had a client who had 25% down payment. He just didn't have 2 years of taxes reported, so he couldn't get a conventional loan. So what we did is we did a bank statement loan. He's a freelance digital marketer and he had about $12,000 a month being deposited into his bank account. Being a digital marketer, you have almost no overhead, very, very low expenses. So the bank will actually take 12 months of bank statements, average it out, and give you income, even take like 95% of those deposits and use that as income. And if you have the 20% down, or even 10% is the minimum, but I wouldn't even recommend that. If you have 20% down and you're a business owner and you have a lot of deposits, go with a bank statement loan, a great alternative to a conventional loan. The rate's going to be higher. It's going to be in the 5% range. Sounds crazy, but at least it'll get you into a house. It'll lock in the property at the current prices. Because if you wait a year or two, home prices are going to be about 20% higher, 15 to 20% higher than they are right now. If you go to Zillow or do any kind of trend market data, you're seeing a forecast, a projection that home prices are going to be 10% higher next year than this year. So you lock in a home at today's prices. Yes, you have a higher interest rate, but once you go and you file your taxes, you can always refinance into a lower rate in the future. Okay, so that's the second program that I would recommend to a first-time home buyer if you are self-employed. If you are an investor, the third program I would recommend is the debt service coverage ratio loan. It's a whole bunch of words. Basically what it means is it's a no documentation loan for an investor to buy an investment property. So minimum down payment is 20%. Basically what it means is you put 20% down, and what the bank will do is they're going to do an appraisal, a regular appraisal, and then they're going to do what's called a rental survey, which means, hey, how much rent is this property going to produce after this person buys it? If the mortgage payment is less than the projected rent, you're approved. So it doesn't matter how much your pay stubs are. It doesn't matter how much your income you show on your taxes. They're really not looking at your income at all. All they care about is this property going to cash flow. If it's going to cash flow, you got yourself a loan. So that may not be for a first-time home buyer, but if you're an investor looking to buy a second property, it's a great way to go. Just ask for an investor loan. And those are the programs that I would recommend. Obviously, if you have 20% down, you can get a conventional loan. Good for you. Definitely do that. You're going to be in the top tier when it comes to competing against other offers if you're putting 20% or more. So that's obviously a great fourth option. If you have the 20% and you're going conventional, jumbo loans are back. Super competitive rates on those as well. So those are the programs that I would recommend if you're a first-time home buyer or now you're looking to buy a second or invest in property. Those are the programs that I would recommend, not the programs that were available back in 2020. We're in a whole different world, a whole different market. So definitely, talk to a realtor, talk to a loan officer, contact me, get some information, go over your scenario and see what's the best loan program for you. So help me get to another 20,000 views. Why not, right? If you like my videos, please share it on Facebook, share it on with a friend if you find it valuable. Also, I have a 6-step video for first-time home buyers. Great resource that's going to break down the 6 basic steps when you buy your first house. Go back and watch that series. I mean, that's a great series for a first-time home buyer who just is overwhelmed, doesn't know where to start. That's a great place to start. So I'll link those videos in the description. And please, if you find these videos valuable, hit the thumbs up button. Really appreciate you guys. Have a great start to 2021, and I'll see you guys next time.